Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're working on this crochet lacy pineapple scarf. This is by Red Heart. I'll put a link in the more information for this direct pattern if you wish. And this is so simple. I had been like denying wanting to do this scarf for a long time because I thought, oh my god, it's so complicated. And when I did it, I was like, oh my god, that's it? That's it, really? Because you start seeing common elements throughout the scarf that you realize that you can start doing this. Once you get beyond this first one, you start realizing that the commonality between this. So when you do the next ones going up, you realize you don't even have to look at the pattern at all. You can just kind of simply follow along. So let's do this tutorial. I want to show you a couple basics before we begin. And I also found, here's my tip. I used Red Heart with Love with this. I found that the yarn is a little bit too stiff. So if I was to redo this, they actually suggested Red Heart Changes, which is a little more lacier, a little more loose. It's a lot more flexible. I would look at a more flexible yarn if doing this pattern because just the way that it's drooping on the model, it's not drooping as nicely as it is here because I think the yarn is just a little bit too stiff. So that's just my tip, and let's get started on this fabulous crochet tutorial. Before we begin the teaching techniques, I want to show you something. This tutorial is so friggin' easy because of the commonality between the stitches. On the sides, you will always do the same thing. Always, 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 it's the same thing. On this side, it's always the same thing. So don't let the directions fool you on being complicated. Right in here, always the same thing. Always the same thing. And the only difference that we do is that once we start the pineapple area here, it changes a little bit. But once you get beyond here, you can really start seeing how the stitches are playing with each other in order for it to be looking like the pineapple. And I'm telling you, this is just so friggin' simple. And then once you get to the top of your pineapple here, you simply just begin again and you do 3 levels and then you repeat the pattern of the pineapple all over again. So very simple idea. Love it, love it, love it. So let's get started. To begin, I want to point out on this gorgeous model, this pineapple scarf. You will see in the directions it says first half. What does that really mean? It means that this scarf is actually in 2 pieces and it's sewn together probably behind her neck. I would assume behind her neck. That actually makes a lot of sense. And why that would be is that if you see this pineapple, it's sitting up straight. But if you were to do a scarf and you go around your neck and back, the pineapples on the other side of her body would be upside down. So in actual fact, there's 2 pieces that are sewn together so that the pineapples appear right side up when it comes to wearing it. So that's why you always see the first half. We're going to be working through the directions. They will be on screen throughout this tutorial, and I am going to be using a 6.0 millimeter crochet hook at size J as per the directions. So let's begin this tutorial, and we are going to start off with a slip knot. There are slower tutorials available if you require that. So let's begin, and it says as per the directions we are going to chain 14. This does not count as 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. And now it says second from the hook, we are going to single crochet all the way back across the line. So we got 1 and 2, so just go into the second and single crochet all the way back. Just like that. So do that, and we'll just single crochet. We'll meet back up on the other side, and we'll move along to the next step. Okay, we're now on row number 2, and it says row number 2 that we're going to begin with the shell in the first single crochet, and then chain 3 and skip next 5, blah blah blah. So let's get started. In the special directions, you can see special stitches. Beginning shell is always chain 3. Double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. So let me just simplify that. We're just going to start off with chaining of 3. 1, 2, and 3, and coming into the same stitch right underneath, we are going to do a double crochet. Very simple, right? And so now we're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and come back into that same stitch for 2 double crochets, and that is a beginning shell as per the directions. Once we get that done, we now need to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to skip 5 single crochets on the line here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go to the 6th. Okay, so I just want to count that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we just want to do a regular shell. And a regular shell is 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Do you see how I'm pinching down here? I'm doing that so that it's easier because it's just not going to wrap around my hook incorrectly. It's just a personal preference. Again, it's all about finding your style. So it's two double crochets, chain two double crochets, all within the same stitch. So now we're going to move along, and we, just like we chain 3 on this side, we have to chain 3 on this side. And we're going to just come immediately to the very last stitch, and we're just going to do a regular shell again, which is 2 double crochets, 2 chain, 2 double crochet into the last stitch. You know, you could count it if you felt like you wanted to, but why bother when you know that's true? The last stitch, just go for the last stitch. So that begins that finishes off that round. And what I want you to do now is that we're going to do rows 3 and 4 next, and 3 and 4 are absolutely identical. And here's what we have so far. Okay, we're going to do rows number 3 and 4 right now, and what we want to do, this is always going to be the way that your project starts from going forward. The lines on the side will always be the same. And how we do it is that we're just going to chain 1. It says that we need to slip stitch into the next double crochet, and what we're trying to do is that we're moving ourselves to the gapping space. Okay, and then we've got to slip stitch again to the gap 2 space, so that we're right into the gap 2. So it was a way of leaving this on the outside so that the outside of the scarf has like a frilly look. Always, 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 this is what we're going to do. We're going to chain 3. We're doing a beginning shell. Chaining 3, another double crochet into that gapping space, chain 2. Same gapping space for 2 more double crochets. This is how you're always going to start every line. I can't emphasize that enough. Once you get that, you'll see how simple it really is. We're now going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and that's always going to happen in every line too. So now we're going to complete this, and we're just going to go into the middle here, and we're going to do a regular shell again, and that's 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochet. And then we're going to chain 3 like we did on this side, which is always going to happen. And we then go into the middle of the shell that's in the line underneath. We just look for it. It's just easy, easy, easy. So it's just a regular shell going into that same stitch, which is always going to happen on every line. And a shell is 2 double crochet, 2 chain, 2 double crochet. So that was row number 3. Let's begin. So I'm just going to quickly turn it, and we need to slip stitch again. So exactly how we've always going to start every row, we're going to chain 1, we're going to slip into the next double crochet, just slip it. I didn't slip, I kind of dropped it, and I want to slip it into the middle. Okay, and so now I'm in the middle again, and I want to do the beginning shell, which is 1, 2, 3, chaining a 3, 1 double crochet, okay, chain 2, and then 2 double crochets into the same space underneath. Okay, so now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. We're now going to be looking for the middle section again. So I'm going to just pinch down, and the shell is 2 double crochet, 2 chain, 2 double crochets. And this is completing line number 4 as we're going along. So we chain 3 on this side, so we're going to chain 3 on the other side. And we're on the outside shell, so we're just going to do an outside shell above it, which is 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, and that completes that round. So this is row number 4, and we're just going to turn it and move up 1 more level. So this is what we have so far. So we're now going to move up to row number 5, so we're just turning it here, and remember, every time we start a row, chaining 1, and then we're slipping into the next double crochet and slipping into the gap space. I'm like a broken record here. Chaining 3. This is how simple this pattern is. You do get used to it because you see the commonality. And then chain 2 and chain 3, or chain double crochet twice. Here we go. And now we're always going to chain 3 at this point. Always 1, 2, 3. So now here's the difference. This one is asking you to do 6 double crochet into the center of the middle here. So I'm just gonna pinch down, okay, and do 6 double crochet. So it's 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I want to chain 3 because that's what I'm always going to do. 1, 2, and 3. And we want to do a shell on the outside, just right in where we've normally been doing it. So it's always the same. Okay, and shells are 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. Okay, and so that completes row number 5. Let's turn it and go for row number 6. So you can see we're starting to do something different. So here we go for row number 6. Always chain 1, always slip stitching into the next one, and always slip stitching into the gap 2 space. So now let's do the beginning chain, 1, 2, 3, going into the same space for a double crochet. Then chain 2, 1, 2, and double crochet twice again into the same spot. So now we're always going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and this is where it's going to differ. So now we want to do a double crochet over top of the double crochets that are inside. So you have 6 double crochets in here. That means you're going to have 6 going up over top. So I'm just going to double crochet into the very first one. Oops, that was not a double crochet. And double crochet into the first one. We're always going to then chain 1, double crochet into the next one, 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 chain 1, and double crochet into the final. So you should have a total of 6 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we're always going to chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3, because we're coming to the outside again, and we're always going to do a shell on the outside. 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochet, and that completes that round. And let's turn our project and move up, and you can see that there's more going on now. So we're now going to turn our project and move up another level. So remember, chain 1, single or slip stitch in the next double crochet, slip into the gap. Okay, chaining a 3, 1, 2, 3. We're doing a beginning shell, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet 2 more times into the same hole or gap, and we're going to now chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and now this is where it's going to differ a bit. It says that you want a single crochet into the top of the double crochet. So we're just going to do that. So we're just going to single crochet. Then it says to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to double crochet into, or single crochet into the next double crochet. And we're going to do that all the way. So 1, 2, and 3. Single crochet into the next double. 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the next double, and 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the next double, and 1, 2, 2, 3, single crochet into the next double, and then we're on the outside again, so chain 3 and do the final shell. So this is the widest that the pineapple will ever be. On this particular round. From here we start decreasing the size of it. So this is the outside shell. So now the pineapple is going to start shrinking and coming to a point up here. That's what we need to look for. So let's begin. We're on row number 8, and we're going to start off. So remember, chain 1, slip stitch in the first double crochet, and then slip into the first gap space, and then do the beginning shell. Chain 3, 1 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Okay, we're always going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. And so here we go. So you're now wanting to decrease the spaces. So what we're going to do is that we see this. We don't mess with anything here. in this row. We don't mess with anything. We're always just going to go into the gapping space. So we look for the first gapping space of where it was in the 3. And we're just going to go into the gap space and single crochet around it, chain 3, go to the next one. Okay, chain out for a single crochet, and then chain 3, single crochet into the next, chain 3, and single crochet into the next, and then chain 3 and single crochet in the next. And there's no other ones to go into, like it just automatically goes to the outside, so automatically you're just going to chain 3 and do an outside shell. Once you see the commonality with this pineapple, with these step right here, you will never have to count stitches, because you can actually start seeing everything taking shape and just automatically figure it out for yourself. So the pineapple is actually starting to get smaller. So let's move along to your next step. Okay, we're just going to turn our work and move up to the next step. So we chain 1, slip stitch into the first double crochet, slip into the gap space, and now we're ready again. So beginning chain, chain 3, 1 double crochet, chain 2. Okay. And now we're always going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. And so this time we want to nail in between where it's smallest, right? Again, so we're just going to single crochet into that chaining 3 space there, chain 3, and just keep doing that until you run out of those spaces. 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and this is the last one. So you can see that the pineapple is actually starting to get a little more narrower, and again, we have nowhere else to go, so we have to chain 3 and go to the outside for an outside shell. Okay, so that begins there, and you can really starting to see that it's really starting to narrow in and coming toward the top of the pineapple. So let's turn our work again, and let's begin. So chaining 1, and slip into the first double crochet, slip into the gap space, beginning shell, chain 3, 1 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochets, and then we're always going to chain 3. So now what are we doing here? We're seeing right into the center space here. We're just looking for those gap spaces where the pineapple is existing, and so we're just looking for the next one. Okay, and we're going to single crochet in, chain 3, next one, chain 3, next one, and it looks like your next one's on the outside, which is right. So you kind of see that there's 2 gap spaces right in there now. 1, 2, 3 going to the outside. And that the outside is a shell as always. Okay, and we are almost done the repeat pattern of this so far. Let's move along to your next step. Turn our work, and we're going to chain 1 and slip into the first double crochet, slip into the gap space, and chain 3. 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet. And so now we're going to chain 3 as always, and see what damage we can do in the center. So in the center, we're going to be, there's only 2 spots left over top of the pineapple if you really take a good look at it right at this point. So we're going to nail the first one, so we're just going to single crochet. Okay, we are going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and go into the other one on the other side, and there's no more left, it's just the outside, so 1, 2, and 3, and an outside shell. So in actual fact, the pineapple is officially done, the actual motif area, and we are going to start doing the repeat pattern next. And this is how simple this project really is. So let's begin again, and simply what we're going to be doing now is we're doing the repeat pattern that existed underneath here. This is the last time that we're doing it over top. This finalizes the actual pineapple look. So let's just chain 1, do it, and slip in the first double crochet, gap space, chain 3, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. See, I'm going by memory. Like this is how easy this pattern is. It's actually quite sickening. So 1, 2, and 3, and there's only one space left in the center, so that's where we're going to go. Okay, but what we're going to do though is that we're going to do a shell in. So we're doing a shell right into the center, which is 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. And this is kind of creating the leaf look on top of the pineapple. Actually, this green is actually kind of fun too. So now we have no choice. We're ready for the outside again. So chain 3. And going in to the outside for a shell. 1, 2, and the outside. So officially you are done this motif. So this is actually what a whole section looks like before you have to go back and repeat the pattern. You have to do 2 more steps of what we just did and then begin again the process right in the beginning here for the pineapple shape that took effect. I know it's kind of hard to see with the background being so clear, but it is actually really amazing, really quite simple, and a lot of fun. And it's only suggesting to do 3 sets of these things, but you know what? Who says you have to do 3? You can do 4 or 5, and you can realize how fast it goes. The whole tutorial sample that I had right in the very beginning, that was only an hour's worth of work for one side, which I think is very, very reasonable. So that's it. So continue along. I'm going to put a link right here so that you can repeat back to where we were here if you want to repeat the pattern and follow it again on the tutorial. Until next time, I'm Mikey from the Crochet Crowd.